My student Anusha, who is doing MS in MIT, USA, Anusha read in Wikipedia that Transcendentalism has its references in Upanishads. Anusha couldn't understand while reading Wikipedia the relation between Transcendentalism and Upanishads. There are a lot of people who think that Transcendentalism is something which has developed in America as a new theory and close to spirituality. It's true. American people were interested in industrial revolution. They were close to materialistic activities. And they had the social, religious movement by the Christianistic approach. The Christianism, which bounded their belief system, which is close to materialistic activities, but they found that the industrial revolution and materialism couldn't give them the happiness. They found nature is so beautiful. No industry could make such a beautiful system which the nature has built. And always the thought process, pondering on the reason behind or the force behind or the energy behind creating such a wonderful nature, as humans have the ability to think, they started thinking seriously. And all the thoughts ended up in saying, there is an energy, there is a power, there is something which is much beyond, which can be conceived, which can be understood by the indriyas. Neither the eye, nor the ear, nor the nose, nor the skin, nor the taste, nor what you can think inside your brain, the so-called brilliant brain, can explain the reason behind most of the activities which happens. So they have to go beyond all this, and that's where the concept of soul, the concept of extra energy which is beyond visible, which is beyond a concept of understanding by the brain, and they related that to what is called transcendentalism, which cannot be explained, which cannot be dealt with the common brain, and reached up to a energy, a level, a force, a power which can explain all this. The Christianist approach always explained that these are all made by God, and God is something which is external to you, and you have to just follow him to reach to the God, or you believe that he himself is the God. But the Transcendentalism approved that each individual has a power and soul which can reach to God by himself, by his activities and deeds and thoughts, or maybe the thought beyond the real understood thoughts. In fact, this is what is the core essence of Upanishads and Vedas. Traditionally believed that all the energy, the power which the nature has, all the power the human has, individualistic approach, ability, sattvic life which he leads can reach to a level where he can realize God himself. You don't require a socialistic approach, a community approach, a religious approach to reach God. Every individual has the ability to conceptualize God in his own style. So this approach, with a new name, with a westernized name, people called it as Transcendentalism, which is nothing but the basic spiritual nature, culture, wisdom which India had in its original thoughts. But then we had the religious, not religious, the way of life. But all others started calling them religion. We have to call the people who doesn't have this religion as Hindus, who lived in this part of the world, the Eastern philosophical style, slightly followed by the Buddhists and Jainism and all that. But the original, traditional, heritage, culture, life, which Hinduism believed was on every individual as an ability to reach up to God. And that's why we have got the Dvaita Siddhanta, me here and the God above. Once we reach close to that, you have the Advaita Siddhanta, where we realize God. And that could be very close to what is called a Transcendentalism, if you want to call it. Whereas, to explain them to the public in a normal style, we used the stories which are all called Puranas, Idihasas, which are only stories to explain the principle, the tattva which the Veda had, and the essence of Veda, which is explained by question answer in Upanishad, and the Brahmanas and all that, the ritual part of it, Aranyakas and Tarkashastra, Vedangas, and further into Idihasas and Puranas, where they said, Uddharet Atmanatmanam Atmanam Avasadhayet Atmaiva Hyatmano Bandhu Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha. Your own enemy and your own friend is your own Atma. That concept of Atma is the spirituality within you, enlighten that, raise it up. Also, there are a lot of explanations, like most of the Upanishad saying, Ishavasyamidam Sarvam, Sarvam Brahmam, and Aham Brahmasmi, I am Atma Brahma, Pratnanam Brahma. The basic concept of the belief which we had, Ena Kena Prakarena Yasya Kasyabi Dehinaha, Sandosham Janayat Pratna Tadevam Ishwara Pujanam. Serving somebody to make people happy. That happiness is not the materialistic happiness. Do something to teach him to realize that what is the real happiness. So achieving the real happiness is from knowing the self within. That concept was the basic concept of spirituality, the faith, the concept of God, which the Bharatiya Shastra had. And we said that Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Yejana Pariupasati Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Mahamyaham. The Bhagavad Gita's core concept, which explained the center sloka, which says Ananyas Chintayanto Mam, don't have any other thoughts. Once you don't have any other thoughts, what you do is get into your own self and the basic smooth, cool thoughts, or maybe a state in which you don't have thoughts. That's called the samadhi. In the Ashtanga Yoga we have Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi level, in which your manas becomes so calm and cool where there are no thoughts at all. That state in which you can reach, you reach your soul. Understand the concept of soul. This is what was propagated by Maharishi Mahayogi as transcendental meditation. So reaching your manas, your buddhi and your manas into the Atma level, where the calm, peaceful, happy self-realization of God within you is understood. This is what is called Transcendentalism, or the real spiritual concept which is explained in Vedas and Upanishads. Thank you, Anusha, for this wonderful question and giving me an opportunity to explain the transcendental meditation in the concept of Indian or Eastern philosophical method.